Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And friends, this past weekend we had a glorious Thanksgiving up here in Canada. So I believe to start this show, we should talk about what we are thankful for in the world of motorsports.
Drama.
Ooh.
That's what. Drama.
I'm thankful for I don't know. What am I thankful for? I
kind
don't
of
know
mean
that
to drop it
exists.
on you guys. I'm sorry.
I thought my
thankful
answer
it
was good.
exists.
Okay.
The drama?
The
Ooh,
drama.
I'm thankful that people decided to sue people. It makes my life more fun.
Okay, so drama, suing people.
All about the drama.
What
about you, Sean?
I actually don't have an answer for this. Damn it.
Fuck's sake!
I had the question.
Now
that I'm put on the spot.
It doesn't
Ugh.
even have an answer.
Ugh.
I'm thankful for marshalling being a thing because my life's more fun.
I am thankful for this year almost being over.
There you go.
You know,
For
2023 has not been a good motorsports year, and the season's almost done. And I'm
True.
more excited for 2024.
I think 2024 will be a better year.
If there is a 2024, then yes.
What? Why?
World tensions are rising.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Steven, we are not a political podcast. We're not going to go there.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I'm just saying world tensions.
Saying the world's gonna end before 2024.
World tensions are rising. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm sure there's a joke that, like,
live.
you know, if terrible
We'll
things
live at
happen in
that.
the world, F1 will put a race there. But, like, whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
True.
As long as they have money. So, yes.
Mhm.
We have a lot to talk about this week because a lot has happened in the world of motorsports. We have, as Taylor alluded to, a lawsuit to talk about. We have another world champion crowned. So there was that. A couple races this week. Video game news. That's awesome for a lot of race fans. What else am I missing here, Steven?
All the drama.
And just all the drama, sure.
Yes. That's the easiest way to just leave it as an open agenda. All the drama.
And so, without further ado, which drama do you want to start with first?
Just
Lots of
pick
options.
something out of a hat.
Steven, I literally said you're on charge of
Okay.
topics this week, and you're already
Okay.
dropping the ball the second I throw it to you.
I thought that was a group question. Okay, let's do F1. Let's do F1. Just do F1.
Okay, we're starting with F1.
F1.
F1 drums?
Yes.
Okay.
The
Okay.
drama queen of motorsports. Let's start there.
Okay, drama queen of motorsports. That's a
Yep.
That's a good one.
A title.
That's a
Man, that
label.
could be a good title. Just saying.
Oh, I meant just a shitty title to own as a series, but
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Um,
There's
Hmm.
that.
Racing in Qatar. Fun. Not really.
Not really. Fun for
For-
0
fun-
people.
Fun for the whole family? No. Fun for absolutely no one.
Yeah. So where to begin with Qatar? Because you have tires sucking, drivers passing out, drivers throwing a hissy fit.
Drivers throwing up in their helmets.
That's disgusting. I couldn't imagine.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't
Oh.
imagine, but like it happened. And like lap 18 of the race or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
like-
so-
67.
can you imagine the smell of that?
Nope. Don't want to.
Like, oh, it was Ocon, right? Ocon threw up in his
Disgusting.
helmet.
It was
Yeah,
okay.
it was Ocon.
Throws up in his helmet. It like, and then just sits in it, wears it. Oh, that is one of the most disgusting, I think, racing
Like
stories
in the
ever.
heat, right?
All
Like-
in 40
I-
degree weather.
Just like
Oh,
it's baking. it's baking in the helmet. Like,
All I could think about was the Family Guy episode where, not the one you're thinking of, where it's they all start, they take those pills and they all start vomiting on each other. It's the one where Stewie and Brian go backwards in time, and the vomit goes back into everyone's bodies. That's all I could think of Ocon throwing up at 300 miles an hour or 300 kilometers an hour. It goes out and then just back in.
Oh, imagine No, you have to vomit. The proper way to vomit would be under braking.
I'm going to start gagging.
You have to vomit under braking.
to.
That way it's all propelled out. Do you think it got like on his visor too, and he had to like wipe it off the visor?
Oh, I hope not.
I'm legitimately gonna start gagging if we continue this conversation. Like,
Oh, is this like that couple on TikTok where the guy just goes and the wife starts vomiting?
Yes, I have a terrible. Okay, look, I have a terrible gag reflex. Everybody knows this about me. I'm very bad with like any stories about bad milk in the fridge. I can never clean out a fridge because it's just I can't do it. Okay, and everybody laughs at me. But like, if this conversation continues with like imagining all of this stuff, I'm just gonna start getting.
Hey Taylor, you remember university that cream cheese or?
Stop! No, that was disgusting. Didn't it move?
Yeah, it was gray and moving. Anyway, okay, fine. We'll move on from the Ocon.
Stop!
But yeah, imagine he got a podium and he had to go up there covered in vomit.
Oh, hard pass.
Okay, but hold on. I do have a question though.
Yes.
What's worse, doing that or like peeing in your race suit and having it just like sit in it for
vomit? 100% vomit.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, guys pee in their race suits all the time.
Which is just too weird to me.
Yeah.
Ew.
It is what it is. So yeah.
You gotta go.
So I guess we're going to talk about the vomit, and then we'll talk about the awful conditions of the Qatar Grand Prix, which had multiple drivers. Like, what was it? It was Ocon vomited.
Heat stroke.
Yeah,
basically everyone had a acute heat stroke. Albon couldn't get out of the car. Stroll couldn't get out of the car.
Stroll fell into the ambulance.
Yeah. Piastri got to the cool down room
just
lay there on the floor. Sargent had to fucking retire.
Yeah,
which
he retired.
I actually respect that more.
Yeah. He realized he was going to be a danger on track.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for all the guys that stayed out and toughed it out, you're fucking insane.
Like, why? What's the yeah, like, what is the purpose of that? Max had already won the championship. Like, at that point, it's like, who cares? Why put yourself in more danger and more like for the result to be just worse on your body? Like, you're putting yourself through so much.
Yeah, so that's a bad race, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things, you had the heat stroke going on. You had stage racing with extra steps.
Basically.
Because no one could go more than 18 laps on a stint.
Yep.
So stupid.
Oh,
like,
it was an absolute disaster.
That was so stupid. Like, why would you do that? That ruins part of the strategy of the race.
Because the tires couldn't survive, allegedly.
Literally so stupid.
You know what? There's part of me that's like, okay. On the one hand, yes, safety is great. Limit the stints, yada, yada, yada. The other part of my brain is like, fuck around and find out. See if they really will blow. Because we didn't see one tire failure the entire weekend. We said they were getting close to failure. But if you want to push the tire to that point, I think you should be allowed to.
Risk it for the biscuit.
It's not like this is a track that had no runoff, like dangerous area. I actually kind of enjoyed this track for being surrounded by gravel, right? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of, I guess, leeway. If you went off and you spun off, you're in the gravel. You're beached. Your day is done.
Yeah.
We saw it in the sprint race where we had 3 safety cars in, 18 laps?
Yep.
So I don't understand why not let teams do it? Maybe for this one race, just turn a blind eye and say, let's see what happens. Because like I felt with this race, you had with the mandatory tire stints, you kind of had this false perception of something always happening on the track. Whereas I was like, oh, someone's pitting, someone's coming through, but it really didn't matter. So it made it look a lot more exciting than just Max driving away. And you had guys on alternate strategies, but it didn't matter because it's not like they could stretch it or actually be up there because you knew they would have to actually make a pit stop and just fall back anyway.
Well, and without any sort of fuel strategy to play in terms of being able to refuel and just refuel light and push for a short one. Sort like what I was going to ask is it better to have the chaos of more stops similar to an Indycar, or is it better to have just pure management as we do right now, which is sort of like which evil do you want to go with? Do you want to go with the guys can push, but they have to stop a lot? Or do you want
Third option, not have a shit tire that also could just, work.
Yes. That could also work.
Because half the issue in F1 is like, if you push behind a guy, you get like 2 push laps and then your tires are dead and you can't push. Yeah. Because they're so sensitive to heat and everything. So, yeah, I would say have a better tire. Pirelli's never has
better tires.
They've never had good tires.
And you know what that means?
And yet
we have to sign them. Sign this man long term.
Till 2027. Pirelli's gonna be the tire supplier. I just realized that rhymed. Tire supplier.
Good for you.
Interesting.
You know that, Taylor? Really? Good for you. It's one of those nights for you, isn't it?
Okay, look, we're working on like maybe one brain cell on most days.
That's fair. But yeah, Pirelli was announced this week that they would be extended as the tire supplier until 2027. Right after a weekend that showed they can't make tires. So
I don't get it. Like,
I don't understand half of F1's priorities.
I know. Why can't we go back to the days where there were like tire options?
Money.
Right? It's so frustrating. Like,
And
all of these good ideas that would make the sport better and more entertaining and more strategic.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about money. It's about getting money in your pocket if you're Dominicali. I guarantee that guy is corrupt as fuck.
Oh, he probably is.
Like every
he 100%
decision,
is.
Every decision he makes is just against the better interest of the sport, and it's just disgusting.
It's so frustrating. It's like every decision that they make is just like you see the downfall of F1. F1 is supposed to be the pinnacle of the sport, and yet we have like garbage like this. It's garbage.
I will take. I like again. Just have an open contest for F1. Don't have people be like, okay, who wants to be our supplier? No, you go find the best supplier. You go to Bridgestone. You go to Continental. Go to Cooper Tire of all things. Go to Pirelli. Go to everyone. Be like, give me your best tire.
Well, and that's the frustrating part too, because Bridgestone said, "Yeah, we want in."
Yeah.
Like what, a month, 2 months ago? They said,
there was
"Yeah,
interest,
we want in."
There was interest, and they wanted to get in.
And it almost seems like they weren't even considered. And we don't know what happened behind closed doors. Maybe they showed up with something and it was complete dog shit. But
Listen,
like maybe.
It didn't meet the, and if you read the actual articles, the commercial interests of F1, and that commercial interest in, quotations there for me, which I think
is how big the check.
Yeah, how big of a check can we write to F1 to get this tire? Versus F1 should be paying people to be their tire supplier.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
It's so frustrating.
It is.
Because
Makes me hate the
they're
sport.
NASCARing it. They're gonna NASCAR it.
No, I think Goodyear actually makes better tires. Like, when, yeah, again, you could have
But you
Goodyear,
know what I
you could
mean.
have Michelin, you could, like, there's so many
Mhm.
tire suppliers out there, and you're stuck with this.
You could have a
Yeah, but what you
combination.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
concept.
Oh, but
You
wait,
could
no.
have
That one time,
options.
as you say, that one time in the U.S. at Indianapolis, it was a problem.
Yeah. And to be fair, that was also because Bridgestone was able to basically cheat because they had Firestone, so they had extra tire data for the track. So they knew what to bring.
Mm. Yeah.
And in this day of age of, like, tire testing and all this stuff that goes on, it would be great if you could do an open tire test where just different manufacturers, teams don't know who they're getting. They just get tires and you test it that way. That's the way you could do it. But no, we have to stick with the stupid one manufacturer can't make a good tire. Cars aren't allowed to race because their tire can't be close enough because it's too sensitive in the heat. Cool me down.
But like, I know, and it's like this is a problem time and time again, year after year, it's the same problem. Pirelli can't make a tire that's capable enough to withstand the types of races that F1 goes to race in, like Qatar in the heat, Saudi Arabia. Like, I don't understand. They walk into the situation like it's like they have no idea where F1 races. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating to watch, but it's even more frustrating to watch F1 just like love the money so much that they're willing to sacrifice the good of the sport.
Yeah, it's a shame everything is sacrificed for as much money as you can. But like at a certain point, you're making a fuck ton. What's a couple $1 million? But no, it's...
But those couple $1 million...
They have to milk every last drop of every single partner.
Yeah, like probably down to like the pennies, the cents.
Well, even like, what was it? Like the whole, I know we talked about this week, but even Hamilton saying he's against a 11th team. There's so much hatred. Like we talked about last week, the whole 11th team coming in. And then you had a bunch of comments this week. You had Lawrence Stroll speaking out against it. Again, Hamilton speaking out against it. Basically, everyone in F1 talking like they don't want an 11th team.
I feel like with Hamilton, though, he was against Andretti. He wasn't against an 11th team. He was against Andretti.
Yeah, which
I get. Andretti is not the most loved man in motorsports. Like, let's be real.
No, I don't think he is the most loved. I don't think he is the biggest name.
He's not the biggest name. There are other teams that are probably more deserving than Andretti is to have a team in F1. There are F2 teams who have tried to get licenses to get into F1 and they can't, even though they're very deserving of it. But I get it. But also at the same time, the discourse around there being an 11th team in general is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like the team principals don't want it because they're going to make less money. That's the reason. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything else. They can say whatever they want about what it is, what their reasons are outside of money, but it's money.
Yes. And like, I think a big thing you saw this week too, not only like for the pushback on Andretti for the money, but there's a pushback against F1. And that was like Audi was saying, well, there was rumors that Audi might actually be out of F1 before they even join.
Oh my gosh.
But that's I think that's a shot back at F1, basically saying like, change your shit, make this more appealing to them. Like, if you're an OEM wanting to get into the sport, like again, Audi wants to be, like GM wants to be, you need basically to have someone to sell to. If your partnership is only one team, that's it. What if this team's not actually going to have a chance of, developing a winning car over the next how many years? What if I want to sell it to a Red Bull and, take them from a Renault to a Honda, for example? Maybe they want to go from a Honda to a GM or a Cadillac engine or something, right? But the lack of teams, lack of options. You want all the OEMs in, but you don't want the teams in. So you need to bend somewhere, F1. And I think Audi may have basically told them, like, hey, we're going to be out. Yeah, if you don't change your ways, we may not make it to the grid. And I think that's a good warning, because they've been trying to court the VW group for years.
And I think kind of F1 does need that wake-up call of like, just so you remember, not everybody wants to be there the way you think that they do. It's like sometimes I feel like they have like this, I don't know, like the belief that everybody just wants to be an F1 and they'll do whatever it takes to be an F1. It's like, but people will walk away if they don't see it's appealing. If you're having all of this discourse about like, well, why would we want an 11th team and like blah 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 blah, and you're not willing to grow the sport, then people are going to walk away and not be interested in joining something that's basically going to die.
Yeah. Like I really do think Mohammed Ben Suleiman, the guy who's running FIA now, he actually said it great this weekend, and I was skeptical when he took over running the FIA. But I will say I don't hate his opinions and stuff. Like, he was saying that he thinks F1 should have more teams, less races. And every single fan went, fucking finally someone's listening.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with that. I love that idea.
I think almost all fans agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because we understand that it is too much. There's too many races. The drivers, the teams are pushed to their limits every year. There's only 10 cars, so no one's moving around. You know, silly season this year has been a bust because nothing's happened.
Oh my gosh, it's been the worst silly season in years.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
If Sargent keeps his seat, literally no one moves. You realize that.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And,
It's
you know,
so
Williams
boring.
is talking like they're going to keep him. Like, they're giving him his chance and all this stuff. But they're not saying no, he's out. So, he definitely could be back.
Not that I want drivers to be cut or anything like that and careers to end. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, when you look at the grid, I'm like, I feel like there's deserving drivers out there who deserve it more than some of the guys who have the seats right now. Liam Lawson should not be in as a result.
Yeah, agree, Liam Lawson. But I was saying, the grid changing should always be a thing that happens in F1.
Yeah.
Like, if you look back at, say, 6 years ago, at the 2017 Formula One grid, I just picked a random thing. Who is not on the grid anymore? Let me see. Vettel, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Stoffel Van Dorn, Julian Palmer, Marcus Ericsson, Antonio Giovinazzi, Daniel Kvyat, Brendan Hartley, Felipe Massa. Like, these are all guys who are gone. And that's okay, because that's F1. And that's only 6 years ago.
Yep, and they're gone for different reasons, right?
Yep.
Like, Vettel and Raikkonen were just around forever, and
Yep.
then they eventually decided to retire. Other guys, like Ericsson, it turned out to be the biggest blessing for him leaving F1.
Yeah, when
he's
IndyCar
now
established there.
And he's now one of the best or most sought after drivers in IndyCar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think he found his footing in IndyCar for sure.
Hartley is great in
endurance.
Has proven to be he's been proven to be a very good endurance driver.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like some of it is just, you know, like I understand the whole like F1 is the pinnacle of motorsport and it's just the best of the best, but you know, part of me is starting to wonder, is it though? Is it? Because I feel like every driver is suited towards a style of driving. If that's F1, good, great, that's awesome for you. If it's IndyCar, good, great, that's awesome for you. Like, I feel like you're still successful even if you're not driving an F1. Regardless of the series that you're driving in, you can still be very successful.
Yes. Whether it's in F1, IndyCar, WEC, IMSA, DTM, what are their top Formula, Super Formula, Supercars. Like, yeah, you can find a niche anywhere and be a good racer. But
I feel like
you gotta get people opportunities.
Exactly, but like I feel like we also need to get away from the assumption that F1 is just the best of the best, because like I'm not entirely sure it is.
I don't think it will be in the next 10 years.
Right now,
I mean, the way it's going.
Yeah. Right now, I'd say it's the best race managers. best qualifiers and race managers. Those are the two
Yes.
big things, right?
Yeah.
How well can you manage your tires, your fuel, to a strategy and follow a game plan? Like you look at IndyCar, you sort of have to be ready for anything on a moment's notice. Like, you know, you get or you have some sort of issue. Like Scott Dixon, as regarded as one of the best IndyCar racers ever, he can sort of do it all. He's mostly known for fuel saving.
Yep.
But it's not like he's a slouch when it comes to, okay, you got to put the pedal to the metal and get it going. He can qualify well. He can do a little bit of everything. Like NASCAR, you have to be a good oval racer, but you have to do the different disciplines of ovals.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
now you have a little bit of, you know, road racing too. But
you don't have to be a great qualifier to be an F1.
no,
Oh, don't we know that?
no,
I'm not referring to anyone specifically.
no,
Really? No.
not at all. Being F1 also, you know, also very much associated with having a big financial backing.
Yeah.
Happens in every series, but
Big
F1
checkbook.
especially
Yes,
doesn't hurt. Really doesn't hurt.
that is fair. What should we talk about next? We move on to the Grosjean thing.
Well,
Oh, and
I was gonna say,
Max Verstappen won a championship, by the way, in case we didn't mention
yeah.
it.
Wow, so surprising.
confetti.
Good for him.
Did you see
Yay,
how many
shocking.
people watched that race live?
How many?
Like 48,000.
Ugh.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yikes. Wow. You can just see it. Like, how
That's
do
a
they
rough
not
one.
know that things are like
Right.
going downhill and going downhill fast?
You don't want to hit on any of the on-track stuff, though.
Why?
Mercedes crashing into each other.
Yeah, but they buried the
Oh,
hatchet
yeah.
immediately after.
Yeah.
Like, it really
You know
isn't that
what?
big deal.
I am going to say one thing. I commend Lewis for taking responsibility so quickly the way that he did. Good for him.
I think him and George Jack have a pretty good relationship. Like,
I think they do. I think
I
it
think
was
they've
tense
gotten over their
track,
fucking.
but rivalry or
Yeah.
whatever. I think George had to get his head out of his butt, to be honest with you.
I think George.
Just a little bit.
I think George choking a couple good chances away also humbles him a bit to Lewis.
Yeah, humbled his
Yep.
ego a little bit.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
Well, all I'll say, good handling. Well done. Okay, we can move on now. That's all that happened.
We can
But
mention
Oscar
Piastri.
Piastri.
Fine, we can mention Piastri. We
Thank
can mention
you.
Piastri.
Oh,
There we
yeah,
go.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. That's
Surprised
all I
you're not-
wanted.
Surprised you're not rocking your McLaren hat.
I don't have a McLaren hat, actually.
I thought you did.
I might. Oh yeah, no, the Miami, because I'm not thinking it's the Miami one. I was thinking
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
a orange
I was
papaya
like, I
hat.
swear
Yeah,
he
no, it's-
has a McLaren hat.
It's buried somewhere in the closet. So I know Sean wants to make a joke so bad.
Nope, not
You
touching
can
this
see it
one.
on his face. You can see it
Not
on his
touching
face.
this one.
Anywho,
I almost made the
Um,
joke, but I was like, no.
Damn it, Taylor.
Yeah.
shut up.
what was it? Piastri has, I think, and McLaren in general have sort of blown expectations out of the water, especially after how they started this year.
Yeah, they are like the number 2 team.
Yeah,
So, like, since
they
Austria,
upgraded
they are
massively.
Since Austria, they are literally the number 2 team.
You know what? But good for them for figuring it out because, like, and this is, I think, the exciting thing that we can take away from this season is that, like, McLaren did start off, like, terribly, just terribly. But over the course of the season, their car development has been phenomenal and has gotten them to a point where they are the number 2 team.
Yeah.
Yep, and it would definitely help that both their young like Lando, we sort of have seen over the last little bit. Yeah, you know, he's a good driver. He can definitely pull a car up above its performance level. Piastri as a rookie, especially like this weekend, I think he showed a lot of maturity early.
Mm-hmm.
Like sprint race, having the pole position, losing it, but having the maturity to say, no, the race will come back to me. Just be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, safety cars help, but I think he showed a lot of maturity this weekend too.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
So
It's good.
Yeah,
I don't
McLaren,
hate him
I'm-
as much as I hate him from last year.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Fair.
he looked like, when all the hype was being made about a guy who had never set step foot into an F1 car, yeah, makes sense. But now it's like, oh, McLaren is definitely getting their money's worth.
Yeah.
So
Lando,
Yeah.
should you get nervous?
I mean, there was the whole thing of like, who had the last win? Oh, right, that was the other guy. Who had the last podium before Norris's? Oh, right, that was Sainz, and he's moved up to Ferrari. Shit. Who's got the last win? I know it's a sprint race, but that's Piastri. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he does excel at getting outshined by his teammates, despite Norris being very talented, obviously. But it just seems like in those moments, the luck doesn't fall his way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Russia 2 years ago,
Yep.
got caught in the rain. There's probably a bunch of other examples we could go through, but that can be a full audit at the end of the year.
That's fair.
Since you guys were pushing to move on.
He's got a lot of shit, man. We got Grosjean. We still got iRacing. Like,
Yep.
come on.
Yep. Okay, so IndyCar, go. Hammer it.
Grosjean is suing Andretti.
For expand.
Okay, Grosjean suing Andretti basically because there was assurances that he would be driving for them next year. And I think what Grosjean is looking to get out of this is some financial backing that he then can use to get into another seat. Or have Andretti fund a seat for Grosjean that isn't with Andretti. Because basically he's saying they kind of breached contract, or they had a agreement, and then when the agreement finally was basically to be ratified, Andretti kind of pulled the chute on him. So I think that shows Grosjean still wants to race an IndyCar. I think it just means money for getting a team might be what's holding him back. So yeah, if he can get that, I think that is something that'd be good to see for Grosjean. I feel bad that Andretti kind of screwed him.
That is also the business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
if
after
I had a nickel
for
every time someone's got sued in IndyCar this year, I'd have 2 nickels. Not a lot.
it's not a lot. It's weird that it happened twice. But yeah, like it's a bit of a weird situation because Andretti is looking to downsize after a couple disappointing years, and it kind of makes sense based on like the year Grosjean had. Definitely, you could label it as disappointing, right? After the first 2 years, it was sort of like, okay, where's that next step like Ericsson took? Yeah. Right? Like where you're winning races, maybe not 3 or 4 races, but you're winning a race and, having multiple podiums. And instead it seemed like every time he got into those positions, he sort of choked. Right?
Yeah, so he choked worse than Ocon, his own vomit.
Yeah.
Gross. Stop.
But yeah, like if you're a team looking to downsize, like their lineup next year is what? Herta. They brought in Ericsson, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of makes sense.
I think Grosjean needs one more year in IndyCar
to really.
Well, Ericsson took 3 years, so they actually got good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So Grosjean's had 2. Right. Or is this his 3rd?
Yeah.
You said 3 now.
This was his 3rd. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this is his 3rd.
Okay. So yeah, I think he needs one more next year to basically be like, is this what it is? And if it doesn't, okay, fine, you're done. But like Ericsson won 2 years ago?
Yes.
That was his first win?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think give Grosjean another shot.
Yeah. But if they were downsizing, do you replace who are you replacing out of these 3? Herta, Kirkwood, Ericsson. Ericsson, who you just signed and has been awesome. Herta, who's been your main guy for a couple of years now, is still only 24.
Well, that could be a thing also with Grosjean's case, though, right?
Yeah.
It's you signed me to be your driver. you're downsizing. You didn't replace me. You're just not running me. So either
Yeah.
pay me to not run this year so I can go run somewhere else, or help me run somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
eh.
And then the last guy was Kirkwood, who
Yeah.
took a step this year and looked pretty good.
Yeah, the worst of that three right now is Herta.
Who
Based
again
on-
is your main? Who is
Yeah.
your main guy?
Yeah.
So, but like, I don't know where he's gonna fit into a lineup. Maybe it's like I'm just looking. ECR's technically got a seat open in the 20, but then you're splitting time with Ed Carpenter, as always.
Nah, he's got to
So,
he's got to go to Dale Coyne.
go back to Coin.
I think so. You've seen that. Well, you know guys there. You know, you can definitely have good results with Coyne. Look at Malukas. So that's what I would do.
Could happen. All right,
What's next?
something to
Steven?
keep an eye on. You want to stick with IndyCar? We can do something that pretty small, but not surprising. Kanan is now McLaren's sporting director, which sort of made sense when we were at Toronto.
Oh, right.
He was around that team like all day and working. He was working really close with the technical team.
Yeah,
It looked
yeah.
like. So it's good to see that TK is still going to be around for a long time, I think.
In the paddock.
Yep. And glad that, like, you know, he's found something sort of after racing that'll keep him around. So, you know, that's fun. Nice little uplifting moment
That's
after
After the lawsuit story.
a lawsuit story and Qatar being an absolute shit show.
Mhm.
So
So that's
Anywho.
a good high note to start us off. I think we have good news going for the rest of this.
yeah. Well, okay, let's keep the good
Yeah.
news rolling. We'll
Keep the
skip
good
over to let's do NASCAR stuff. You want to start with the real stuff or the virtual stuff?
Virtual stuff. Real stuff don't care about.
Virtual stuff. Okay, fair enough.
Real stuff is
Well,
what,
you gotta
whatever.
no. You get a chance to talk about your favorite hover car. But
Okay,
fine,
fair
we'll do the no. You made your choice.
Oh, that's fair.
iRacing and NASCAR are teaming up to basically get an actual product out because motorsports gaming is not doing shit.
So
Honestly, that's
motorsports.
exciting.
Yeah, honestly, it's the first time. First time iRacing is going to team up with NASCAR to make an actual full-time game. Asterix, iRacing, or at least the team that used to be iRacing, which was originally Papyrus Games, owned the original NASCAR license through like 2000, 2003. Like NASCAR Racing 2003 is one of the best NASCAR games ever, if you ask old-timey NASCAR fans. So for iRacing to get the license back and to be able to produce a game that's going to be basically your NASCAR video game, I think that's great. And Motorsports Games sold off their licensing rights to iRacing so that they can get more money, so they can keep the lights on for another day or two. Either Motorsports Games is putting all of their eggs in this IndyCar basket, which we've never seen a trailer for. Well, okay. We've never seen an in-game
Which
trailer
is still
for.
a sad situation.
They had like a trailer the other week, which was like in-engine renderings.
Okay.
So it's not
interesting.
gameplay, but it's they have models basically is what it shows.
Mhm. Great. How long have they been working on this?
Yeah. So
Is this gonna be one of those things where it's like the Scooby Doo meme where you see the motorsports gaming mask on and you rip it off and it's just Pirelli underneath and it's like, look, a shit product that we're still gonna be paid to make.
why would you do this to me? Oh, you broke my heart.
I didn't break your heart. Motorsports games.
True. But iRacing there
True,
is saved the day
true,
for
true.
NASCAR because I believe whatever the iRacing product, whatever they make, if it's more of a simmy type or like a simcade type NASCAR game, it'll be fantastic. You'll have all the drivers, you'll have all the cars. You could do with what iRacing has a like Gen 4 to Car of Tomorrow to the Gen 6 to the next gen, you could have all those cars in there. iRacing already has it.
Yep.
And you might have one of the best damage models ever in a NASCAR video game.
Yeah, well, because they said they were going to get something out for early next year, right? And I was like, wow, that's an aggressive timeline. But at the same time, yeah, they don't have a whole lot of stuff to do. It's more like
Packaging.
anything that, yeah, like they'll probably like iRacing is not known for its graphics necessarily, but so they'll probably do a little bit of upgrading there to try and make it look nicer. You're gonna have to do a whole bunch of renderings for the actual driver faces and stuff like that. But other than that, like they have the AI stuff that's already been implemented.
You have fully
testing.
animated pit crew.
Yep. So there's
you have your track scanned. Yeah, that's easy for them to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually excited. I haven't played a NASCAR game, I think, since NASCAR 07. I think it was
that reminds me.
2 years later, NASCAR, like EA lost the NASCAR license, and then it hopped around for a while. And
that does remind me. I have to go back to the retro game store and pick that up.
Nice.
I'll bring it for the wedding.
Good choice. Good choice. I'd say NASCAR 04 was a good one. Total Team Control. 07's a personal favorite of mine. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what iRacing brings with this. That might be my favorite game next year. Yep.
Well, you never know.
It'll be good.
It will be. Imagine they have a co-op career. Oh, Steven.
They could. That's gonna be the interesting thing is how they
multiplayer it.
Well, no, just how they package it entirely. Like, is it going to be something like F1 where you can have your? I'm assuming there'll be like a My Career, right?
I think there has to be, and that used to be the best part of the EA NASCAR games was the career mode, because you started as like a shitty driver, and then you went to driver to team owner, and it was actually really fun.
Yep. Yeah. So they'll have that. I don't think they'll do like. Oh, maybe they'll do like a manager thing. Right? Like you could be like, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a crew chief thing. You already have that crew chief feature in your regular iRacing. Maybe that's something that you could do because that's your direct competition to F1 Manager, and it's all rolled into one game.
Yeah, so, I'm curious what they're gonna do. I'm excited for it. I really am.
Yep. Do they do like a? I wonder if they do like a road to Cup where you can start in Xfinity. Starting
trucks.
Starting trucks.
Or oh my god, I'm losing my mind here. So, back in the old NASCAR games, I think it was 04. I think. I'm just gonna look it up quickly. Back in NASCAR 04, there was, I think their career mode went from modifieds to Cup modifieds to trucks to Busch Series to Cup. So you had all four in there. iRacing could do that. They could have your like ARCA or like even dirt or something like that. Like they could make a really good like climb the ladder career mode. Man, there is so much possibility. I am in love with this idea. I'm fangirling out here, as you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they'll get it all into the first game. Maybe they just get something out to grab a foothold, and then they spend the next year developing. Again, it's a very aggressive timeline to get it, especially if it's like most sports games where you're getting it out like as the season starts.
Yeah.
So
it was the 2005 game, not 2004. 2005.
That's the other thing I fucking forgot.
What'd you forget this time?
I mentioned the NASCAR schedule. They actually dropped the schedule last week.
Oh, right.
And didn't even think about it.
I knew we talked about it last week, like amongst ourselves, not recording.
Yeah.
A couple of big things to note was they rejigged. I think Daytona now is not the last race of the season. The road continues.
Yeah. So here, let's go through it.
Okay.
Because now we're sort of on that. So you still the same thing. You have the Clash or Crash. Sorry, Sean. Go with your name. You have the duels. Then it all leads up to the first actual point scoring race of the Daytona 500 in February. You get Spring Atlanta, Vegas, Phoenix, Bristol, non-dirt,
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
That is off the schedule. Then you get Coda in March, Toyota at Richmond, or Toyota owners Richmond, Martinsville, Texas, Talladega, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, North Wilkesboro up for the All-Star break, which will be nice. The 600 to end off May. Then you get St. Louis, WWT, Sonoma, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nashville.
Iowa's going to be. Iowa, I think, is a good. It's a new one for Cup. That should be a fun one.
That'll be a good one.
If they fix the short track package.
Chicago Street Race, Pocono, Indianapolis, doing the Brickyard 400. Reminder.
Back on the oval.
Which will be nice. Richmond, Michigan, Daytona, again. Darlington, Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Bristol. Sorry, this is playoffs now. Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Bristol. Round of 12 is Kansas, Talladega, Roval.
Boo.
Then Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, ending in Phoenix still.
So
some changes.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
I think a lot of the stuff they can make more changes in general, like getting rid of stages, to fix a lot of their stuff
issues
quickly. Yeah, and then you can see once you get back to racing without stages, then you can sort of look at, all right, which tracks are working, which tracks aren't.
But they're not doing that. They had stages again this week at the Roval.
I know. And we went over that. It's a horrible decision. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, and the race sucked, and no one liked it.
Yeah.
See?
Yes. What was Jeff Gluck's poll at?
Oh, I didn't even check.
Oh, yes, the Jeff Gluck. We must check the Jeff Gluck.
But it's such a good parameter to check of, is the race good?
Yeah, people enjoy the product? You get a good mix, because he gets a good amount of
58 said yes.
That's a bit surprising.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be lower.
But that's still 50%. There is a good chunk of NASCAR fans that will say yes no matter what. And this race was meh. I don't really have a whole lot of notes for it.
Hidji Allmendinger got a win, and he was very emotional afterwards.
Yeah, that was good to see. That was really, really good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Again, non-championship guy winning it. Love to see that.
So to get on the sad note too, he was really emotional afterwards because I think he was talking to Marty Schneider, and it was like, you never know when the last one's gonna be.
Yeah.
And for a guy that's sort of been a street or road course
specialist,
mercenary, you never know.
Well, yeah, and he's a guy who's basically always kind of been in and out of NASCAR full time. He's not a big name in NASCAR. He does road street courses, and that's when he performs well, but he's never been with a top team for anything else. And that could be his last win, and honestly it might be. So
well, they've already sort of earmarked him for Xfinity full time next year.
Yeah, but that's not Cup.
And
that's not Cup.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean. That's big.
Yeah. And so that's going to be really interesting to see which direction the team wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, because they've already shown, because he was in the playoff race earlier this year, right? And they were at I can't remember which race it was, but Xfinity was not at the same track. He went to Xfinity, missed practice and qualifying.
Road America?
Maybe. No, it wasn't oval, because they were like, we're not even going to bother, because it's not a strength. We're not going to worry about it. Let's go. I think, or maybe Xfinity was at Road America.
I think it was. Yeah, that may have been that.
Yes, that would make more sense, because then he would race that. He would want to race that, but it's like, you're in a playoff hunt. Come on, points matter.
Yeah.
Especially, you should be working at tracks you don't do well at, so you can get more practice. You can take advantage at a road course where there are 2 or 3 at the end of the season. So,
You know what I also want to see AJ Allmendinger do?
what's that?
I want to see him do a 500.
Yeah.
Do an Indy 500. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
That was the last time we did one. Just trying to see. Actually, I don't know if he's ever done the 500. Because that would be a fun one to see him do. Because he used to do IndyCar. Oh, he did one Indy 500. Started 5th, finished 7th. Yeah. Give AJ Allmendinger, if he is coming up to the end of his career, and it's going to be a farewell tour in maybe a year or two, give him a 500. Especially if there's no NASCAR or something. Or give him a Brickyard 400 on the oval next year. Yeah.
Well, Colleague hasn't fully committed to anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They were heavily leaning to keeping him there, keeping him in Xfinity. So,
Also, like this NASCAR talk is really enthralling when Taylor is almost like falling asleep here.
yep.
Guys, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No,
No,
you're
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. This is mostly for me and Steven, really.
Yep.
I know.
Okay, what else? What else you got?
Your favorite driver, hover car,
Oh, yeah, Carson Evercar. Yep.
has a full-time ride
Good for him.
with Spire. So
Fuck.
what?
Not the team I'd want him to have a full-time ride with. Because actually, he's been really impressive, to be honest. But, okay, fine. Maybe he can go for a year with them and then get an actual ride in some good team. I'm sure there'll be openings in the next year or two.
Well, I'm pretty sure his actually here, let me find it. I'm pretty sure it is a multi-year deal with Spire.
Okay, well, okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. He'll be full-time in the grid next year.
He's 20 years old. Get your foot in the door, get some experience. You're guaranteed every race.
He will be an excellent bet for next year for a top 10 finish every single weekend.
There you go. Look on the bright side.
Because he won't be a guy who's qualifying up there, but his pace has been decent. As long as the cars don't die. So yeah.
There you go. Look on the bright side.
I'm not singing.
I didn't say you had to. I'm just saying look at the bright side.
I don't. What
It's
is
okay, I'll
that,
just
Taylor?
play it in my head.
What do you?
I was singing in my head.
Oh, Mr. Brightside. Oh, I was gonna go with. I was going with Monty Python.
Yeah.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna sing it.
Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
I think we just got a copyright strike for that one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Taylor.
Oh, it's
Shut
gonna
down
be
before we can even
fine.
go anywhere.
No, we won't. It's like 2 seconds.
I have no idea what the rules are.
I think
Anyway.
2 seconds is fine.
I mean, whoever gets to the
Well,
end of this thing anyway, we're kind of just scraping the
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel now.
Yep.
What
Okay.
else do we got?
End of round of 12. That's sort of where we can end it because we're moving on to the last 2 rounds of NASCAR playoffs.
Okay. The only thing I want to say is that
Right.
What is it? Martin Truex is a complete fraud in these playoffs.
He's being propped up by his
Stage wins.
regular season. His regular season.
Yeah. His finishes in the playoffs are 18th, 36th, 19th, 17th, 18th, and 20th.
He hasn't been in the top half of the field. You can put it that way.
His best finish is 17th. And he's made it through 2 rounds? How the fuck? Who picked Truex in their team?
You want that answer?
Yes, I do want that answer.
You did.
Fuck me.
Here, you want to halfway? Well, here. Speaking of looking on the bright side, we're halfway through the playoffs. Taylor's lost all but Byron.
Ooh, that's still a good one to
Chastain-
have.
Chastain's out. Wallace is out.
Dang it.
So here's the thing. She lost Logano. She just lost Bubba and Chastain. She only has Byron, but Byron's number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Byron's heavy favorite right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm literally like skating.
It's been your
thinnest of
fucking
ices.
thing all year for NASCAR. You're just riding Byron.
What? Byron. Byron.
Sean, you have Truex, Blaney, and Reddick. I've got Busher, Hamlin, and Bell.
Damn.
Okay.
So wait,
So it's really
who did we not
whoever
have that
gets
made it?
Larson,
Larson. No one took Larson.
which is a bit of an oversight on everyone's part, considering he is
Mm.
4th.
Only one Hendrick car is going to make it to the final. You know how this works.
Yep.
It's going to be a Hendrick. It's going to be a Gibbs. One of each.
And considering Hamlin's been looking pretty good, I think I know which one is going to make
Okay,
it.
so it's going to be Byron. It's going to be Hamlin. It's going to be Reddick. And it's going to be a Ford.
Probably Busher.
Probably.
And it's
Well,
gonna
so
be
here,
chaos.
the next couple races are Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville.
Okay.
So
Vegas and Homestead might be actually pretty good races.
they should be.
Martinsville
Martinsville will be interesting because that's where Bell won last year.
and
Keep
the Hail
himself
Melon.
alive. And the Hail Melon. Can't do only one of those can happen this year. But we'll see.
Oh no, my throttle's stuck. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if that one will slide.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out. Like if Truex can sort of figure it out now. Because if he makes it, he's usually been all right at Phoenix.
What have I said that NASCAR playoffs is all about?
What?
Getting
Getting
hot.
hot at the right time?
Exactly.
You know who's hot right now? Denny Hamlin.
Yes. You know who could easily
Yes.
not be hot the next 6 races? It's
Denny
6 or 5.
Denny
It's 5.
Hamlin.
Four.
4 left?
This one's 3 races. You have Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville, and Phoenix is the last.
Holy shit, there's only 4 left. Wow, okay.
Yep. There's 4 races left in NASCAR. There's 6 races left in F1.
6? Fuck. What do we
Yep.
got? Vegas, Austin, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. What am I missing?
Okay, here, hang on.
There was 5.
I'll tell you what you're missing. Okay, actually no, sorry, yeah, it's just 5.
Boom. Nailed it.
Yeah, sorry,
Suck it,
I
Steven.
thought it was
Don't gaslight me.
6 after Qatar. Yeah, so you have Coda, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, Abu Dhabi.
That's fair.
Do any of these matter? Kind of, not really.
Will
No.
anyone throw up in their helmet again?
Hopefully not.
No, I hope not. Stop! Stop it!
Yeah, it's really just a fight for second at this point, and it's between Ferrari and Mercedes.
Okay, you know what? The title of this podcast episode is gonna have to be the little like puke emoji.
I don't think you can actually do that, but I'll do my best.
That's
do-
lame as
just do-
heck.
Just do bleh.
Blah. Nah. Anyway. So, the year is wrapping up. Only got a few more races left. This is fun. Really good.
And so
We'll touch on more NASCAR, I think, next week.
Only thing next week, so yes.
Basically.
Yes, we will.
Okay. And on that note, thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate it a lot. And we'll be back next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.